Всем привет. Честно говоря, я немного волнуюсь, потому что сейчас мы будем тестировать классную тачку, которая называется Tesla Model S.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
What do you want to do?
What do you want?
Только чтобы это в русском не пошло, засмеют.
Засмеют, прям потом будут, это он, видел.
I'm gonna buy any Teslas.
I'm gonna buy anything. В чем, наверное? Где ты видишь зеленый? Я вижу только розовый. Вот это розовый нормально.
Я на камеру не могу говорить. Довольный такой. Смотри, они заряжаются, кстати.
Вот, да, они заряжаются тоже. Надо смотреть.
Поближе подойди, покажи, как что делается. Открой ее, посмотри. Сейчас выскочит security. Чего? Да, экран, смотри. А что, открывать нельзя, что ли?
Закрыть.
У тебя ручка.
Надо пойти сказать, что мы
Делается. А ты оплавился?
Да.
Саша, скажи. I'm Дима. I'm оплавился before. Я тоже оплавился. Сам будешь машину?
Это Tesla без кузова. Это все, что... Это все двигатель. Вот это двигатель. Вот здесь батарея содержится. Все, смотри, больше ничего нет.
Поближе.
Всего лишь 132 тысячи долларов.
133.
Alright guys, so I'm going to need you to read this waiver if you want. And then I need you to press that blue button. It's basically saying you're fully licensed.
Okay.
You're not going to drive this car recklessly, and if you do, you're going to have to pay for a ticket.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you're ready, press the blue button.
Yeah.
So she's going to go and get you your waiver over there, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, okay, so you are all set, and then if you want to follow me.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's going to have you read that same waiver. Okay?
Hi. Oh my god, I look so white in that video. So what's your sorry? No, I look. It's just like sorry. What's your postal code?
Oh, here's your license, by the way.
Absolutely.
Your postal code or your postal code?
Yeah. 900.
9008.
You can do 68. 68.
Okay.
No worries.
Great. So go ahead and read this test drive waiver. It essentially says don't damage the car.
Okay.
Pretty please.
Если я что-то сделаю с машиной, я буду платить.
Yeah, he's translated everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Okay.
Снимаешь, да, Светлана?
Great. You're all set.
Надеюсь, что да.
Да. Какую ты будешь выбирать?
Что он спросил?
Ничего?
Hi, Art. So he's going to take you out on a test drive.
You know?
Is that thank you?
Hi.
Spasiba.
You're speaking.
Good job, yeah.
So, have you guys are you guys familiar with Tesla at all? Any of the way the company works? You know who Elon Musk is? Let's start with there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, perfect. We'll start with that one. So, the company is here in California. We make the cars all up north in Fremont, California, and they're all custom built to order. They're all custom built to order. Starting with the body, they're all virtually exactly the same. Every single car is custom built to order, meaning that so like Mercedes, Audi, BMW, GM, they all push their car off the manufacturing line and just push into the market.
Yeah.
Tesla's different. There's one factory in California that make the car. And
Near San Francisco.
yeah, kind of just south of that. So this is a great model because now we can have a car that's custom built to the customer's liking, from the trim to the body, the color of the car, what tires, interior, and what packages you want. So it really caters to the customer's needs, not to what we just want to give you. So there's a couple differences between each car. This is the chassis of the car. So this is showing off performance motor in the back and then a motor up front. This is the only car in the world that has motor powering each axle individually.
It's two motors.
Yeah, and it makes it an electric all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive. Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead and show you the car outside.
Нам сейчас дадут машину,
So the
мы
only
будем
difference, as you can see,
гонять на ней.
they're all exactly the same. The only difference is the size of the battery and whether or not the car has one or two motors in there. The way you can tell that is look at the back of the car. Notice it says, they'll say Model S, but more importantly on the back here. So for instance, the number refers to the size of the battery, if I cover that up. So this is a 90 kilowatt hour battery. The D means dual motor, so there's a motor in the back and the front. And the P means performance, so this is a performance car. So, and we start at a 70 kilowatt hour battery. The car itself starts at $70,000. And from there it goes up in increments. And it goes up in increments of $5,000. And depending on how you customize the car will affect the price. So we have a couple of cool things with this car. For instance, you may have heard of something called autopilot. This car can actually drive itself on freeways and highways.
Oh.
And there's 3 hardware components that make that possible. First hardware component is the sensors. You see right here, these little dots. Those are ultrasonic sensors, like your parking sensors. Then the back and the front of the car. You also have a front-facing camera and a front-facing radar. So those come on every single car, regardless. The software, to get the software where it drives the car automatically, is $2,500. So it's all of this optional. A lot of the stuff is optional, like for instance to the interior premium interior package where you can actually open the trunk by its with the key fob.
Wow.
The optional rear-facing seats for children. We have one of the biggest trunks in all of any sedan ever made.
I have the same optional in my car too. I have Toyota Camry.
Oh yeah, the camera. Oops.
Вот это круто вообще. Смотри, как они складываются.
It's enormous.
There's this. We can put it up. So I can take it off. Okay. Anyways. You get the idea.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
No worries.
We also, in addition to the rear trunk, we also have a front trunk.
Ooh, nothing.
A little bit of extra space. Yeah. Get a little extra space there. So there's storage. This car is dual motor. There's a motor in the front. So just thinking about it about here.
Okay.
If you get the car with just one motor in the rear, this actually opens up more storage space.
Okay.
It's two motors car, yeah?
Yeah, this one has the rear and the front. So right here is called the P90D with ludicrous mode. It's the most expensive car Tesla sells.
Okay.
And it's the fastest car in the world. Well, fastest four-door electric vehicle in the world.
Yeah, what's the price?
This car starts at $118,000, this particular one.
118?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then our lowest one starts at $70,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our range from there to there. So if you want, are you guys going to be doing, you're going to be driving, right?
Yeah, she's good.
So are you going to be doing autopilot at all?
I don't know.
You don't want, where the car drives itself, do you want to experience that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is show it to you real quick, and then we'll exit, and then you can get back on the freeway and
Yeah,
you
you
can try.
have to show me.
Okay. Let's go ahead and step in.
Давайте назад, я вперед, да?
Давай, давай. Аккуратно на 100, 120 тысяч долларов. Правильно. Придется все машины заложить мира. Smells so good.
Oh, like new car.
It's a new car.
Technically, yeah. So there's a couple really important things. Think of it like a fan, like a desktop fan. That's literally what this motor is. It's like just a fan blowing air, but except it's on steroids. It's very, so when we're pressing the accelerator down, the motor is spinning forward like this. And when I start to let go of the accelerator, when I start to bring my foot off, the car's going to slow down by itself. That's the motor doing the braking, not the brake pads. So we call that regenerative braking. That's taking the energy and throwing it back into the battery. It's up here. So that's one major thing you're going to notice about this car. This drives like no other car in the world, unless it's an electric car. So we have creep mode, which is your idle. So if I have this off and I take my foot off the brake, the car won't move unless it's on a hill. If I put it on, it's going to idle forward. This is our acceleration mode right here, called ludicrous speed. That's the fastest car in the world. We could switch this down to sport, and we can drive a little bit slower to save our energy on the battery. We have smart air suspension in this car, which is optional, where it can actually raise and lower the height of this car. So if you want to check this out, once you raise the car, you can feel it being raised up. Hold on 1 second. Come on, do the thing. Okay, now I can put it back to standard height. This is optional in the car as well. It's $2,500 extra, just like the sunroof is, optional. That's where, you can build your car to precisely how you want it. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's go here. Let's first of all see how the traffic looks. Oh, we're actually not too bad. All right, so I'm going to go north here.
Is it 2016?
Tesla does not build cars we don't go by year.
Yeah.
We just kind of go by what the car is.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, technically this car is a 2015, but we've been making this car since 2012, and we have never changed design since then. You could look at a 2012, 2013, 2014. They all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just the battery size and the motor difference.
Yeah.
So let's see. So again, we have these are superchargers. We have over 400 in the United States that connect city to city driving. They're 100% free, like the 6 over there. They charge your car extremely fast.
How long time for the full charge?
In there, it's like in 20 minutes gives you 150 miles. So just under an hour will give you full charge. Most people though aren't driving this car from full to zero. They're actually driving it mostly from they'll do this much driving, they're gonna go home and then recharge it back. So you're never really without an empty battery, if you will.
Is it possible to charge it in the home?
Yes, that's ideally where you want to do it, is charge it at your house. All you need is a 240 volt outlet, which is like a big washer dryer outlet. Great. So what I'm going to show you real quick over here, when we're going to do autopilot, we can only do this on the freeways and highways. You can do it on the streets, but it's really not recommended at all. What you're going to see when I'm driving is kind of like a mini map of the street. This is going to read the lines in the street. There'll be cars around here and stuff like that. There'll be 2 icons that show up. One will be like a speedometer, it'll be in gray, and one will be a picture of like the steering wheel. When you see the picture of the steering wheel, that means you can do autopilot. So you can take this stalk down here and press it into yourself. 1, 2. When you hear a sound go boom, boom, that means autopilot's engaged, and you can kind of like put your hands by here, and the car will start driving itself. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Let's put my foot on the brake here. We're going down to drive. And then I'm just going to press forward. It's going to operate like a normal car. And I'm going to ask you guys to strap in too, by the way. To strap in
belt?
Your seatbelt, yeah.
Okay.
If you're too on your side, if you're too cold, you can change your climate. Are you cold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm close to a little bit.
Sure. I'll push this up to like 72 degrees or something. All right. So let's just get out first.
This charging it's for free for everybody, yeah?
And you could see this red marker right here. Let's zoom out. We have over 400 in the United States, and it connects. So you can travel the entire United States completely on our dime if you wanted to, from Los Angeles to New York. Right.
So fast.
Просто вообще разгоняется. Нормально. Это еще только самое такое. Еле-еле, можно сказать. Тут очень много Теслы. Все приезжают заправиться. Звука вообще никакого нет, да? Никакого.
Yeah, no sounds at all. Just no loud sounds.
Yeah, it's an electric motor. The same, pretty much the same type of technology that's in the fan.
Yeah.
It really is the same. freeway to do the autopilot and just show you real quick.
Сейчас I'm gonna stop with this.
And then I can also do some of the acceleration too if you want to see the
Yes, sure.
So notice my foot's off the accelerator and the car's slowing down. That's the regenerative braking. It's not the brake pads, it's actually the motor doing the braking. So actually I'm not even touching the brakes. So if I go like this and then let go of the brake, see how the car slows down?
Yeah.
It's a lot of 1 foot driving. Just accelerate and kind of hold it there. With normal cars, we normally just accelerate and then we let go and the car just rolls. This car is way different than that.
Эта машина тормозит сама. Если только...
Нажимать на педаль или можно и нажимать тоже?
Go ahead and lean back for me on the seat.
О, нифига себе! Вот это да! Нормально. Как like a rocket.
Yeah. That's instantaneous torque on the car. So once we get onto the freeway, I'm going to try to get into one lane kind of inside. It's better to do autopilot on a lane more inside rather than a lane onto the, next to the wall. So let me get over here. Okay. One more. Okay.
Вот это она стреляет вообще просто. У меня аж камера выпадает из рук.
So notice the steering wheel has gone on right here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 1, 2.
Мы включили автопилот, и все, машина едет.
So I can set the buffer distance between this car and a car in front of me. If you notice the car lengths. So if I go to 3, it's gonna go to about 3 car lengths behind this car, and we have it set to 75 miles per hour. If I press down on the stock, it'll go down to 70. I could switch the increments. But right now the car's driving. I'll even have it change lanes for me.
Все, мы просто едем, руль сам крутится.
Сама перестраивается?
Да.
And then at any moment I want to take over, I just tap the brake once. Hear that sound? And then it's all on me 100%.
90 миль в час за пару секунд.
So we're gonna get off and then we'll switch, and then you can get back on and try.
Окей.
Тут так не гони, не получится.
Нормально разгоняется. Получше, чем твоя Toyota, да, чуть-чуть? Да. Очень крутая тачка.
This car doesn't care about speed limits. Doesn't care about
Well, like,
anything.
yeah, you have to follow the speed limit. I'm just showing you guys the power of what you can do to overtake lanes and stuff like that. But yeah, you technically have to follow the speed limits of what the state governs. Alright, so let me get over to an exit. There's one over Vista. Every time, my foot right now has been on the accelerator the whole time. I haven't let my foot off the accelerator to keep this speed right here. If I let my foot off the accelerator, watch what happens to the speed. We're gonna drop dramatically. So you can't let your foot off the accelerator. You kind of have to hold it there. That's called regenerative braking. So if I get off the freeway here, signal and get off, I'm letting my foot off the accelerator, and we're slowing down because of the regenerative braking.
Да, нам не нужно нажимать на тормоз абсолютно. Достаточно отжать педаль газа, и
Ты можешь также нажимать.
машина притормаживает. А чтобы сильно затормозить, нужно нажать на тормоз.
So we only apply the brake right about now.
And you can push, on the brake or not?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, now you hold the...
Yeah, the brake, the cool thing about this car is that you only apply the brake when you need to. For the most part, the braking is done with the motor itself. This makes your brake pads last up to 100,000 miles, which is huge. Most cars, brake pads last only about 40,000 to 50,000 miles. This literally doubles or triples the life of your brake life. The brake pads, because every time you press in the brake, you're scrubbing against the brake drum, and it's scrubbing those pads away. so you're losing all your brake pads, and you got to replace the brake pads and stuff. This car keeps its brake pads
Yeah,
for a very long time.
like Prius.
Yeah, exactly. The same, virtually the same concept. So I'm gonna turn around and then I'll park on the side here, and then we can switch.
Okay.
And we'll get back on the freeway. So let me just go ahead, do a U-turn.
Ты собираешься топить на ней?
Ну, сейчас посмотрим, я не
Что,
знаю.
топи, не надо. 40 000 долларов, давай подумай. Отрицательную почву сдать.
Подожди, что решим. По ходу пьесы будем думать.
And I can show you how the car can auto park as well.
Тут даже парковка автоматическая.
This is only available if you buy the autopilot package. So if I pull past this car, actually I'll go past here. Maybe right here would be better.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop.
Просто останавливаемся.
It's gotta read the spot. Which is
Нажимаем пару кнопочек, и машина сама по себе сейчас будет парковаться.
You don't need to do anything, just...
yeah, it's got to show me the start essentially. Come on. What the heck? I don't know why something not there. Jeez.
У нас чтобы во дворе парковаться как раз, да? То, что нужно. Руль сам крутится.
Yeah, it's a little crooked, but you know, not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it a little off the curb. It's pretty close to the curb, though.
Yeah.
Let's see, a little bit to the side here. All right. Okay, so we can switch here. To get in the park, I just press this button right here. So, go ahead and switch. Real quick, before you drive the car, I want you to do a couple safety checks. First, I want you to check your mirrors. I want you to check your side mirrors as well. You could change them right here. If you click that, that'll do the right mirror. So if you want to angle it better,
It's okay.
it's fine on that side too. And then
Yeah.
you could adjust your seat on your left-hand side. It's on your left, like this. To move your seat forward, back, tilt. Yeah, you want to get so you have more visibility. Okay. You can also change the steering wheel. This little tiny thing is like a joystick. It'll tighten up, so it'll go forward, up, down like that.
Как руль регулируется.
It's fine. Okay.
Окей.
Cool. So it's gonna drive exactly the same as I was driving. This is gonna be in standard, so it's a very pretty smooth turning. Do you want the idle on? Now what this is again, if this is off and you take your foot off the brake, the car won't move forward. If I turn this on, then the car will idle forward slowly. Do you want that on or off? Do you think?
Make like a usual car.
Okay, so we'll have this on. Okay. And then the regenerative braking is on standard, so that's when you let go of the accelerator, you're going to feel the car slow down like we did on the freeway. Did you want this on standard or low? If I put it on low, the car will roll more than it normally
Standard.
does. Standard? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, so we're good to go. We're gonna go back and then go back on the freeway northbound. So to get it into drive, you're gonna click all the way down. Although we might have to back up a little bit, so we can. But you can probably clear it actually. Just go ahead and give it a shot. Okay.
Габариты большие.
So we're gonna go to the 5 North, which is the first on ramp right here.
Руль такой приятный на ощущение.
Солнце нифига не видно.
Руль очень приятный такой, как необычный. Вообще ультра круто. Просто. Тебе надо попробовать.
В следующий раз. speeding of car. It's so fast, you know.
Yeah, it's an instantaneous torque. So
It's like a future.
yeah.
Future car.
So once we get so now we can enable the autopilot. We have the gray on the steering wheel. So on that small stalk, if you go 1, 2, like into yourself, 1, 2, like that, you'll hear the sound. Okay. So it should be follow the lanes and it should auto steer itself.
Я еду без рук.
Да, я понял.
Снимаешь?
Плохо видно, потому что угол не тот, темно все.
So that's not a pilot. It's very much driving itself. It's reading the line. This camera right here is reading the lines on the
Okay.
road.
And how to take it back?
Just tap the brake once. That's it.
Okay.
Now it's back on you.
Really nice. Скорость вообще не ощущается, прям как будто 60 вроде едем, вот так как будто вообще медленно.
He's not feeling the speed.
Well,
It looks like maybe
we're
like
at 70, but
yeah, it looks like 40 miles, maybe like 35 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this.
Not one of the smoothest rides we get.
Yeah.
Вообще просто улет. Я даже полностью не нажимаю газ, потому что, я не знаю,
He's pushing like a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you barely feel it. It's a very smooth ride.
Yeah.
What we'll do though is we'll get off at Penrose and then we could like loop back around that way.
Подписывайтесь.
So we'll make a left turn and then another left turn to get back on the freeway south.
Okay.
You know, feel free, like from the the 0 point, to hit the accelerator if you want. When it's clear to do so, of course.
Сейчас я с нуля буду по трассе стартовать, ты снимай эту всю тему. Руль очень приятный на ощупь.
Да.
Second entrance. All right, cool.
Нормально видно, хорошо сейчас. До этого нифига не видно было.
You can feel free to just, hit the accelerator. You can feel the handling too. This car handles really well. It'll take the turns very easily. You don't need to hit the brakes. There you go.
Really cool. What's the highest speed of the car?
So the car is electronically governed or stopped at 155. When we say the fastest, we mean the quickest, meaning that like the 0 to 60 time we have the shortest 0 to 60 time in the world. So we're going 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. That's from completely still, match the foot on the accelerator, and 0 to 60 miles an hour is 2.8 seconds. Under performance tires, right now we're actually not running the performance tires. We're running the 19-inch tires, which are more cushion. It's a little more smooth of a ride because there's two types of tires you can get. The 19-inch will last much longer. They're all weather, so they're more comfortable. It's just a better overall tire. The 21-inch performance tires have better acceleration. So when you hit the accelerator, the car takes off immediately, grips the road better. However, it's not going to last as long. They're only going to last 8,000 to 10,000 miles, and they're going to, since they're, it's less rubber, it's a little thinner, it's a little more bumpy of a ride. So it's a trade-off. You get the choice of choosing whichever one.
It's future. when the next model will be?
The Model 3, which is
Yeah.
the Model 3 is there's going to be an announcement in March from Elon Musk. We don't have much information about anything else of design or anything like that, but we will get a keynote speech from him in March sometime. But as far as we know, it's going to be about $35,000.
25.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't know what options it will have. It might not be as fast as this car. We really don't know what. We do know like the size will be about the size of a 3 Series BMW. The battery life is going to be over 200 miles of range on a single charge. But he's probably going to release more information at that speech. So, but other than that, we don't have any pictures or anything.
Я себя ощущаю, как будто за рулем спортивной машины. Прям очень спортивный вообще. Газ.
Sport car. It's sport car, man. He's talking about looks like sport car. It's
Yeah.
sport car.
It feels like a sports car, but
Yeah.
it's funny because it's like a lot of families buy it because it's kind of like a family vehicle.
Okay.
There's a lot of families who it's the safest vehicle ever built
Yeah.
for a sedan. It has a 5 out of 5 crash star rating, mainly because of how heavy this car is. This car is extremely heavy.
Yeah.
It does really well in front end collision crashes, side collision crashes.
Okay.
And one of the main reasons is we're cutting down on carbon emissions. There's a lot of countries that have problems with that carbon emission problem with gasoline engines sending carbon emissions in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
China, India, a couple, just to name a few. So the whole point is to be in a zero emission transportation, and that's what the Tesla is all about. But we don't want to just limit it to that. We want to have luxury. We want to have nice cars that are fast and can go long distance. So it's engineering of it. It's just amazing.
Yeah. What about the weight of this car?
It weighs almost 2.5 tons.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a very heavy
It's
car.
big. Yeah. It's heavy.
That's as much as like most Range Rovers or SUVs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of batteries.
Yeah, it's the battery. It's most of the weight. We're going to exit Verdugo coming up there. About a quarter of a mile or so. Half a mile, I guess.
Because of 2 batteries, right?
So the batteries are the entire floor of this car. It runs the whole floor. This gives us equal weight distribution.
Yeah.
The weight is evenly distributed. Imagine if you had, every vehicle on the road is just one heavy engine block in the front of the car, weighing the car down in the front.
Yeah. Right.
But what if you took that engine out, chopped it up, and then laid it across the whole car? Now you have equal weight distribution.
Yeah.
Verdugo. And then we'll make a left on Verdugo.
Be careful, man. Че, я пристегну, блин.
Тормоза вообще тоже просто. Вот я еще не полностью нажал, я так чуть-чуть.
А ты до этого притормаживал?
Нет.
Или само по себе?
Да. Very easy to drive.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Очень легко управлять.
Mainly because of that battery. So if the weight is all in the center of the car, the weight distribution is perfect. It's like at a 50-50 split, almost 50-50 split.
Да, это просто бомба вообще.
It's kind of like if you've ever been on a car that has so much weight in the front and then hit the accelerator, then turn really fast, you feel like out of control. It's because the front end is the back end is lifting up. This car doesn't have that problem. So
Вообще.
we can take turns going pretty damn fast, actually.
And now to the left.
We're gonna go straight.
Straight.
Through this light, and then at this light coming up at San Fernando Boulevard, we're gonna make a right turn.
Here.
Yes.
Сколько он разгоняется? 100 километров.
4 секунды.
4 секунды. А прямо езжай.
Короче, надо все продавать и покупать эту машину.
Yeah, he's going to sell everything, and after this, he's going to buy this car.
It's a good investment. You live in the car then.
Yeah, sure.
No,
It's okay.
it's okay.
Where's your Tesla, man? I'm talking about it. You know, can you see? It's our Camry. A kind of Teslas. A little bit different.
Alright, so we can park it right over here. Take a look at the reverse camera.
Automatically, yeah?
Yeah.
If it read the spot, yeah. Go ahead, shift to reverse. Okay, and then we'll press start. Take it up.
Oh,
Good. You're lazy, man.
You gotta have a. You gotta have. The thing is, you have to have a car on either side. That's the thing.
Yeah. Only two cars between each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's got to read the line on the wall. It's
Yeah.
really crooked. There you
и что-то еще
Yeah.
поправит, смотри.
Yeah. Something maybe doesn't like. That's why just it's going to right.
go. Yeah, it feels like it needs to recalibrate. There you go. It's not perfect, but yeah, it's close enough.
So for a
Better enough.
Good.
Better than last time.
Yeah, better.
Да, это реально крутая тачка. Вообще. Возьми мой сумку, плиз.
There's a couple other cool things. Aside from all that, the car's more of like a smartphone than it is a car.
Yeah, it's like smartphone.
And there's always updates being unveiled. So the cool thing is that you get the autopilot, you get other cool things like the summon feature. So this car can be summoned for. Hold on. Press and hold. Go.
She started. She's exhausted.
Машина сама подъезжает.
It's gonna do the hazards and now press
Можно
the
на
front
пульте
truck
просто
button.
нажать кнопочку, и она сама выезжает.
Don't move. See, it's reading right there. So.
About how many meters? Half a meter?
Yeah, it depends. You could set the driver distance.
So smart car. I have any words just to describe everything. So good.
Yes,
I mean, there's a lot of cool things. You can pair the car with your phone.
Yeah.
So, like, if you, with your iPhone, you would pair the car, and you could turn on, like, if it's a hot day and you're inside, you could cool your car down ahead of time. So you can do it with your phone. You can summon it with your phone, open your garage automatically. It'll park itself, and then close the garage. See it all.
Чудеса вообще.
So, like, for instance, some people are over there charging their cars, so they're able to check on their charge with the phone as well. So, like, they're charging, they walk
Смотри,
away.
какая ужасная машина. Bad car. Bad car.
That's what we're trying to get away from. Right? You know,
Воняет.
say they're charging, they want to know how much they can check the status with their phone. So you can always track your car because if it's running off a VPN signal, it's always going to be on your phone. So you can track your car anywhere in the world. It's stolen, it's on here.
Nobody can depth that.
It's virtually impossible to steal the car. Every car has a signal. So if you ever call service, tell them your VIN number. And we're able to pull you up GPS like from the satellite and find you. And so we can send a flatbed will pick you up. Anything you want.
Вообще, да.
Are you going to buy now?
Yeah, right now.
Продать машину себе?
Не, когда-нибудь я куплю такую машину, в любом случае. In future I will buy 100%.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on to Elon's Twitter, and that they'll be doing his keynote around mid-March or so, mid to late March, and he's gonna have way more information. They keep everything very secretive, even from staff, about letting us know about updates about the car. So we only know as much as the public knows. So once he announces it in March, we'll have way more information. So, but as far as the Model 3 is concerned, that's all we know is as much as you guys know.
Do you have an official dealer in Russia?
I don't think so, and I mean we are in Europe. We're actually in a lot of European countries like Norway, Sweden, UK, Ireland.
Yeah, in Moscow I see 1 or 2 times. I see.
I mean, so that means they're importing them. I mean, they're expanding the markets. We're in Asian countries too, like Japan, China.
What about Kazakhstan?
I don't think so.
From Kazakhstan, that's why I'm wondering.
You have to understand though that the company itself is still very small.
Yeah.
Worldwide,
Yeah.
we're driving right now. There's only about 100,000 Teslas, like or 100,000 or maybe like 100. I mean, it's very somewhere around there. You know, it's definitely not 200,000.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, for instance, in 1 year, Toyota sells like 1 million cars,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
In 1 year, we sold 50,000. So comparing those numbers, the company itself is still young. You know, we've
Yeah,
only been,
sure.
it's only 4. This car's only 4 years old.
Yeah, sure.
So to expand that quickly and that fast,
Yeah.
it's virtually impossible. You have to, it takes time.
I think after 10 years it will be.
That's the plan. Is
Maybe
to
less than
accelerate
10,
that.
less than 10 years maybe.
Yeah,
It's
four,
gonna be-
if you've seen 4
yeah.
years, then another 4 years, even more. So
Yeah.
the future is bright for us. We're
Yeah.
hoping to expand more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the supercharger network, we have 400 in the United States alone. 2 years ago, we had less than half that.
Mm.
So we're having more superchargers open up, countrywide, worldwide even. So we're expanding more and more and more as time goes on. It's just people have very high expectations for us at such a young age. We're still a baby right now. We need to grow. We need to.
Yeah.
Tesla is still very young at this time, but there's competition. That's good. Elon Musk welcomes that. He likes when companies like Chevy create, the Bolt and all those other companies. Because I personally, I believe if it wasn't for him, none of these car companies would be thinking about electric cars.
Mm.
But I think because of him, now they're starting to pick up and wake up to, the oil industry and all that's going on.
Yeah.
So it's a process of things. But
Yeah, sure.
the company started with a 2-door sports car called the Roadster. It was built on a Lotus chassis from 2008 to 2011. It's a little tiny. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's very tiny. It's
Okay.
it's like it's a 2-seater. It's very low to the ground.
Yeah.
That was kind of like our entry into the market. It was the Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
We were gauging to see if people were interested in electric vehicles. Once that was a positive, we then transferred over to the Model S, brought in a car that families could get in, more than 2 people. Then Model X, which is the SUV, we're expanding our market to people who want to carry more passengers. So that was Model X, and then finally with Model 3, opening it up to more people who can make middle class America, essentially the middle class essentially. So with incentives, your United States federal tax credit and California tax, electric vehicle credits. The car can easily take off about $10,000 off the price. So depending on what state you buy it in the United States, it changes. So you have federal tax credit, you have state tax credit. So those are always a big plus. Even in other countries, I heard Norway has 0 sales tax or something like that. These Norwegian countries have 0 sales tax on the car, which is unheard of in the United States. But
You don't carry just any gas.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I had a guy from Norway in here the other day saying that in Norway, there's 0 sales tax on electric vehicles, but they triple the sales tax on petroleum cars, or petrol, petrol cars. So it's insane. Like they want what our motto is in the United States is like, sales tax on every car essentially. But the whole thing is to get more people to buy electric.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, now a lot of people come from test drive.
Yeah, we get a lot. It depends on. It's mostly self-schedules or call-ins and stuff like that. This location's very new. We just opened up this location in the end of October, so we're only a couple months old. This location is unique. We're called Service Plus. So if you notice, we have a service station on the side here.
Yeah.
Compare the cars. Here to deliver to the owners, and a sales room right here. Superchargers. This is kind of like everything in one for Tesla. Most of the other Tesla showrooms, like Pasadena or Topanga Mall, it's like a little shopping mall, a little store.
What about guarantee?
The guarantee for the car, or like the
Yeah.
warranty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a warranty. You have 2 warranties on this car. You have an 8-year unlimited mile warranty on the battery and the motor of the car. And you also have an additional 4-year or 50,000 mile bumper to bumper. So like wear and tear items, like if something's wrong with the door or anything mechanically wrong with the car, it should get repaired. You know, warranty. So you have 2 warranties. The main one though being the 8-year unlimited miles of the battery. That's most of people's concern. So you got those as well.
Okay.
And who was created this car? I mean, just
Originally?
Yeah.
I think the lead designer was a German guy named Franz von Holthausen. But the people who founded Tesla in 2003, these 2 business partners, oh my god. Because Elon Musk didn't come until 1 year after Tesla. So Tesla was created in 2003, they didn't have a car yet. They just had like a concept design. Elon Musk came 1 year after. He sold PayPal. That's how he kind of made a lot of his fortune, was in PayPal.
yeah.
And then he came into Tesla 1 year after they were already. He wasn't the CEO then. He didn't become CEO until like I think 2008 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But he became CEO later.
Yeah.
And then he was sort of the driving force between the company. Kind of looks up to Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
As his speech.
It was created in Germany or just in
It was
USA?
actually in San Mateo, California. That's up near San Francisco. That's where it was first created. So it is California.
Yeah.
It's really cool to say that this car is California. It's got California. So and we opening more and more. I think we just opened another factory in not Amsterdam, but some Dutch areas or something like that. And so that's where we're going to be assembling it. So we still fabricate the car here. It's usually sitting flush right here. So if I press this, just press and this, yeah, it pops out automatically. Close that. That's the chocolate. Wait, it's hidden. It's hidden storage.
Что, вопросы еще есть?
Вопросов нет. Я хочу проехать. Надо будет еще в другое место съездить. Зря ты не хочешь проехать.
Да нет, сейчас пойду.
Yeah.
Говори потом.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It was really good.
Yeah.
A very good experience.
Good to get, give you an educational experience on the car. So
Yeah.
that's
I appreciate it.
But feel free to come in if you want to design a car.
Yeah.
You can always. The cool thing about Tesla is that the pricing is fixed no matter where you go. It's always the same price, whether it's in store or online. So at least here we can help answer any more questions that you guys have about designing a car, see the samples in person. Go through some simulations like that.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys whatever you want to do.
And the lowest price is gonna be
Starting at 70,000.
70,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you get at that, it's not like you're losing out on a whole lot. You're still getting a 70 kilowatt hour battery, rear wheel drive. It comes with pretty much everything every car gets, except like small things like a sunroof. The seats are standard. There's just aesthetically it'll be more standard. But you're still getting a Tesla. You're still getting a car that runs on electricity and no gas. So.
What about credit? For example, I'm going to buy this car by credit. Is it possible?
No, you could put the deposit with the credit card, but to pay for the car, you would have to you could either finance through a bank,
Yeah.
where they give you a loan,
Yeah.
or you could lease the car as well, or you could pay cash with like a transfer wire or like a cashier's check or something like that.
Yeah. What about just I have to pay just in the beginning? How much I have
So
to pay?
to reserve, like to
Yeah.
do the car. So if you're financing, it's $2,500. If you're leasing, it's $5,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the deposit to kind of like say, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah,
I want to put this down,
Yeah.
and we'll start from there. So if you wanted to do that right now, we could totally do that.
No, just I'm wondering. I mean, just
Okay.
be sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be the same exact thing online as it is here.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You know,
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
here.
No, I guess.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Everything.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a good one.
That's it. Bye. Bye. Bye.